You've waited all week, and it's finally here. The Eat, Drink, Explore Weekly Travel Deals Extravaganza.
And a good day, everyone. I'm your host, Randall White. It is time to hear insight from the best of the best, the gurus of bargains, the luminaries of budget travel. And this week, we are discussing the best airfare deals out there. You might say flights, because that is our compass word next hour. And we welcome our regular contributor to the segment, Mr. Brant Myers with Gulliver's Travel in San Luis Obispo. Welcome back to the show.
Morning, Randall. Thanks for having me.
I apologize that the sun is such so that it is streaming right in on your face. If you need to put your sunglasses on, feel comfortable in doing that.
I feel cooler, but, I'm fine. Thank you.
All right. Okay, Brant, let's start with, I think people are so flummoxed when it comes to airfare prices. They think, am I getting a good deal? All they can really base it on is the last time they paid for a similar trip, and they can know they got either a better deal or a worse deal. But you can have two people sitting on a plane, and one person paid, $210 for that flight, and the person sitting next to him might have paid $389, So there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason, but there is.
There is and there isn't.
Okay.
Just like you said, there's little small factors, and there's huge factors, and then there's unknown factors.
Okay.
You could get the president of Orbitz and Expedia in here, and they couldn't tell you why a price went up or why a price goes down. But there are certain factors that help you kind of narrow that down. There's some general rules that if you follow, you'll definitely be getting the lowest fare possible.
Okay, so let's go ahead and start with those general rules then. What would be one of your first?
Well, it's what everybody wants to know. Flights are pretty much the point A to point B, and it's the thing that nobody really wants to do. When you go on a trip, you're not sitting there going, oh boy, I get to spend 4 hours in an airplane.
No. No.
So the cheaper and the less painful it is, the better. And some of these tips are more widely known and some are less known, but definitely the day of the week that you buy your flights on. They release inventory on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, sometimes Tuesday at midnight. So if you're checking Wednesday morning, first thing, you're going to see that new wave of seats. And even a bigger scale than that, the new wave of seats, and when that release that inventory, that could be months out. So you're playing the day game of the week, and then you're playing the month game, and then you're paying the weeks out. So definitely don't buy anything within 3 weeks of your flight. It keeps going exponential, the 3-week mark, the 2-week mark, the 1-week mark.
They keep going up.
Keep going up and up and up. So what you really want to do is you want to start looking about 6 to 3 months out. You start looking a year out, and it's going to be the highest. Absolutely high. Just might as well be 2 days before your flight.
Because they know essentially anyone booking that far out is absolutely planning on whatever, they're a planner and they're going to do what they're going to do at that point. And so if you're buying your ticket a year in advance, then they're going to sell that seat anyway. So let's go ahead and put what I would call in the hotel industry, the rack rate on it.
Exactly. And it's, basic bargaining. Why not put something out there really expensive when you have time to sell it? See if a couple people bite on it. And then when they start getting desperate, just like a hotel, any empty seat, any empty room, that's going to be lost inventory. So then they start getting more desperate, more desperate, more desperate. But then there's that dividing line where then the clients, the traveler,
is the desperate
one.
Is
a desperate one. So you got to find that sweet spot. And I guess the best rule of thumb, and this is something that people don't really consider because you're always just looking for that best deal. And it's like playing stocks. So it could go up, but it could go down, but it could most likely go up. So what you want to do is you want to find out what you want to pay for your flight. That's the one thing that I really recommend to people that it just doesn't normally happen. I say, I want to go here to here, and I think that should be about $600, and that's what I want to pay. When you see it for $600, buy it. Don't wait, because it could be $800, and then you're going to be crying, and you don't want to do that.
Is there a good way to know what a good price would be so that you have that I want to pay X amount? I guess it would be to ask your travel agent, right?
Yeah, actually, I'm kind of kicking myself for saying this, but the same general rule applies. You either talk to a travel agent, which has the years of experience. You sit there every single day, and your mind is processing that. You know the trends. There's also a couple websites out there like Airfare Watchdog, Google, Bing. They have matrices that will tell you the fluctuation. It'll have a little graph. It'll kind of show you, okay, the trending is a rise right now. The trending is a low. So you can follow it just like a stock market.
Let me give you an example. Say I came to you and I wanted to book a flight from Los Angeles to New York, round trip. And I would say to you, what window would I consider to be a fair price for that or a good price for that? What would you tell me?
Well, like I said, it's whatever you're willing to pay. There's a good price for it. But,
based on what you see day in and day out, what would be a good price?
I would probably say $600 if you're flexible. You can get $500 if you're,
round trip to New York?
Round trip to New York.
Out of LA?
Out of LA.
Because I'd want to spend like $300.
Exactly.
Is what I'm thinking.
Well, you can, and that's another thing. The day of the week that you purchase your ticket is just as important as the day of the week that you fly.
Okay.
I can get you to New York and back for $300 if you don't mind flying on a Tuesday, because there's no pleasure travelers.
Right.
There's no business travelers on Tuesdays. The second in line would be a Wednesday. Same deal, where you just don't have that many people. So these airplanes are sitting empty. They want to sell it. Nobody really flies on a Tuesday or Wednesday. And then Saturday was a close third, because you got your business travelers flying on Mondays and Fridays. And then you've got your leisure travelers doing Fridays and Sundays. So anytime that you're not traveling in the peak season, you're going to get an off-peak price.
So if I flew into New York on a Tuesday and back on a Saturday, I might be able to get that $300 deal if I arrive at 4 a.m.
Well, yeah, that's another thing. There are just so many factors. I could go on for about 45 minutes. Just too many factors. Gas prices. Is it low? Then you'll get lower prices. If the gas prices are high, it'll go high. If it's the high season, if it's summer, if it's spring break, if it's holiday season, there's too many things. But really, when it comes down to traveling, you have to travel.
Yeah.
And you have to travel when you have to travel. And that's really the reality of life. So, just try to kind of work with it. And like I said, if you look 6 months out and you keep looking for about 3 months, then you're going to find a decent rate and jump on it when you can.
For months now, the experts have been saying air prices are going up, they're going up, they're going up. But I just saw some news that perhaps next month they might go down a bit. What do we know about that?
That's right. The sweet spot is going to be August 20th or 21st, depending on the airline.
Okay, write that down on your calendars, August 20th or 21st.
Yep, and just call your travel agents, get online, try to find those flights immediately. Typically, the summer season lasts a little bit longer. This year, it's being cut short. So the fall prices are going to be lower than the summer prices, and it's nice to have that a little earlier, because then you're still, especially in California, it's beautiful. August, September, that's pretty much our summer. So
we're heading down to a little town called Sayulita, which is just north of Puerto Vallarta, to do a special for this show, to get some video and interview some people and that sort of thing. And we're going at the end of October. So if we wait until the end of August during this period where all of a sudden prices are going to drop a little bit, and we book on a Tuesday,
yeah,
and,
exactly.
And we fly on a Saturday to Saturday, we might be able to get a pretty sweet deal.
Absolutely. And here's another good savings tip is if you book somewhere like you're going to Puerto Vallarta or somewhere that's a destination, if you do a hotel package, a lot of times I'm finding that these packages pay for themselves. You can go and you can get a flight for $600, or you can get a flight plus 3 nights hotel for $700. So that almost, if you factor it all in, you're getting a really cheap flight or a really cheap hotel. It depends on how you look at it.
Now, so we've covered timing. What about choosing the airline? Is there you hear about bargain airlines, or you have the major carriers like your Uniteds and Deltas and stuff like that. Why are the bargain carriers? How is it that the bargain carriers can give better prices?
Well, they have a very limited area of destinations, and they're kind of they're kind of a bargain, whereas they do it a lot. They sell quantity over quality.
I see.
So, you can fly Delta all around the world. You can fly JetBlue to Long Beach.
I see.
So, they have a very small niche that they're covering, and that's why they're doing it. And they're doing it a lot. They're doing it frequently. They're using smaller planes. Fuel costs still factors in there as well.
And then also you can choose here on the Central Coast, you choose your airport. Do you want to drive a little bit? Go to San Jose, Oakland, San Francisco, Burbank, Los Angeles, Orange County, or locally with Santa Maria, San Luis Obispo, Santa Barbara, Monterey. Exactly. So people constantly say, oh, check the Oakland prices, check the San Jose prices, Burbank, you get a better deal. I've never found that. Over and over again, I try, and the best deals always seem to be out of LAX and SFO. Why is that?
That is the general consensus, absolutely. Obviously, it's just because, again, that quantity thing. They just have so many. Think of it like inventory. They have so much inventory that they have to fill.
Right.
San Luis Obispo doesn't have that big of a market. Therefore, they don't have as many flights. You don't have as many flights. You can have people over a barrel, and you're asking whatever you want of them.
They do. They gouge us.
But
I want to fly.
There's a bright side to that. Sometimes you can actually, because they like it when you bundle a lot of flights together, especially on the same airline. So I've actually seen flights that are $20 more flying out of San Luis Obispo to New York as opposed to going to the Bay Area and flying out. So you always just got to look around, and that's something that a travel agent can obviously help you out with.
Brant, I got to cut you off right there. Great information. We want to let you know Kelly's at the Grill at Hunter Ranch sponsored this hour. Dine Under the Oaks. It's the best kept secret in the Paso Robles area, located just 3 miles from the 101 on 46 East in Paso Robles. Full hour of Eat, Drink, Explore coming up next. Stay tuned.